All right, let's get into our trending topics now, and let's take a look, see what's topping the trends list here this morning on our regular features. Kizer, so she's trending, but this time not much to do with football. This has actually got to do with something that she did. So Kizer handed over 3 of the 20 houses she and her football club, Royal AM, donated to victims of floods. Now, the event was held yesterday. It was attended by the mayor, and this is where I think the deputy mayor was also there, and they handed over 2 houses to beneficiaries. So people have had a lot to say about that, and taking a look at it. Some people just applauding her and saying, that's the house, there we go. That's so she's said that she's going to be giving away 20 of those houses to those that lost their houses during the floods, which I think is an absolutely wonderful gesture from Kizer to do something like this. And you know, some people have gone out and actually criticized this and saying how people are just saying, you know, why such few houses, blah 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 blah, and others are saying, well, are you joking? She could have sat at home and done nothing about this and handed 0 houses. Some people criticizing the look of it. Some people, I mean, people have got a lot to say, they really do. I mean, but listen, at the end of the day, this is a wonderful gesture, and this has been handed over, and they're saying that there are more where that came from, and they're going to be handing over these houses. So there we go. You know what? That's, I think, a moment for appreciation. So thank you very, very much for that. And I think it's a brilliant, I mean, for somebody that has absolutely nothing and to suddenly be given this house to sort of put a shelter over your head and live in. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, it's been devastating what's happening in KZN. So there we go. Kizer, big ups to you. Thanks very much for doing that for the people of your province. All right, let's have a look at the next one, Mandisa Maya. Well, we've been watching that one very, very closely and having a look and seeing what's happening with regard to the recommendation of Judge Mandisa Maya, who, of course, is going in for that position now of the Deputy Chief Justice. And she was nominated for the Deputy Chief Justice by President Cyril Ramaphosa in March, and lots of interviews that are taking place. And she is, of course, holding her own and doing exceptionally well. I mean, there were grueling interviews, you remember, that she sat through and really did prove herself fantastically during that interview for the Chief Justice post. This was in February. But, of course, we do know that Chief Justice Raymond Zondo was then subsequently appointed by the President for that position, and now heading in for the Deputy Chief Justice position. So she's got a string of accolades behind her name. I mean, just an absolutely incredibly suited woman for a position like this, and certainly one that's held her own during these interviews. And it's now up to the President, who'll have the final decision on whether or not she will be elected as the Deputy Chief Justice. So we'll wait on that one. So that's the trend of Mandisa Maya. Zondo, so we were waiting. I mean, it was even our question of the day, your expectations of what was going to be coming out of the State Capture Commission. We were hoping that it was going to be handed over on first it was meant to be handed last week or on Sunday. Then they said no, it's going to be happen. The President would get the electronic version on Sunday. Then they said no, it would happen tomorrow night. Then apparently there was a phone call that happened between the Chief Justice and the President, and the President then confirmed that no, it's not going to be happening. Then it will happen instead on Wednesday. And everybody's just asking so many questions. In fact, to the point that we saw a media statement coming out at about 12 last night from the presidency saying that the presidency is still awaiting the final report of the Zondo Commission and rejects speculation of interference with the judiciary, because, as you can imagine, these delays are now open to speculation. And so the presidency put this out and says, to avoid any confusion or misunderstanding, the presidency wishes to outline the sequence of events with respect to the submission of the final part of the report of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the allegations of state capture. They then go through a whole timeline. The presidency has by 11 o'clock, the 20th of June, still not received any form of a copy from the Commission, and the final part of the Commission report was due to be handed to the President on the 15th of June, and then a whole bunch of delays in the pipeline, but now they're saying that it's going to happen on Wednesday. So we are waiting Wednesday, but again, they just emphasizing the fact that the presidency rejects claims that the president has in any manner interfered with the work of the commission or the judiciary as speculated by some opposition parties. Communication between the Chief Justice and the president has been over the delays in the delivery of the report and finalizing the date for the official handover of the report. President Ramaphosa has thus far received part 1 to part 4 of the reports and etc. etc. So that was just the comment that came out last night from the presidency. So we await at apparently Wednesday. That's when it will be handed over, but we won't hold our breath. We'll wait and see what happens on that one. All right, the final trending topic, stage 2. Well, do I need to tell you? Because stage 2 load shedding is back visiting us, and we've been told that this is a big thing that we might be seeing carrying on for perhaps the rest of this week. Not too sure, but this is with us. It started last night. We were obviously the beneficiaries or the victims, I don't know what you want to call it anymore, of load shedding. But yes, unfortunately, stage 2 load shedding has been implemented, and that's something that we have to deal with. So regretting to announce the implementation of load shedding. It started at 5 to 10 last night, and Eskom will continue to closely monitor the situation. We haven't heard from them this morning, so we wait to see what happens. And they keep on saying that especially between 5 and 9 in the morning and 4 and 10 in the evening is when the very, very big demand is, and that's when the threat of load shedding comes through. So not sure if there is load shedding at the moment, but I can tell you now it was last night until 10 o'clock. But yeah, that's what's going to happen every evening until Thursday. So there we go. All right, those are your trending topics. So that wraps it up for now. Let's get into our question of the day. Here's an interesting one, and it happens to be the content of our next interview. So the Department of Health has partnered with the South African Post Office to allow patients to collect chronic medication from their branches. What are your views on this? Are you happy about this? Do you think this will make your life easier, that you can now, instead of queuing at a clinic, go to the post office to get your chronic medication? Or do you think that this is going to be a disaster? Well, looking forward to hearing from you, and stay tuned, because straight after this break we're going to be chatting to Foster Mohale. He is the spokesperson for the Department of Health, to tell us a little bit more about this initiative. Has it started? Is it already working, or is it just still in the discussion phase? Well, we'll find out all of those things, and whether or not in your area there is a post office you can go and fetch medication from if you so desire.